We're back, 7 Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. We'd like to thank the Pizza King 19. That's Mike Kenneke for joining us, late model driver at the Speedway. And hopefully we get to see more of him, not only for the rest of this year, but maybe next race season as well. Next up on the program, you know we had the slight rain delay at the Speedway this past weekend. What a better way to fill than the quick job that Rick Wilson and Jesse and the entire crew here did.
Excellent.
In getting in Chuck Deary at the Speedway. We got Todd Korish and Shawn Pfaff. I got them one here and one here in the booth, side by side, to talk about this late model challenge, points-wise. It's going to happen for one more week in the Oktoberfest, and that's coming away right now. Joining me out at Sparta, Wisconsin, the Durango Racing 21 is Shawn Pfaff, and the 32 out of Holman, Mr. Consistent Todd Korish. Todd, how are you?
Oh, not too bad after the heat race.
Shawn, yourself?
I was a little better, but I fell back a little too far there, so Todd got away from me a little, and we'll just have to see what happens in the feature. We're in 6th row, so.
You know, I think I speak on behalf of every race fan here at the Crosse Speedway. The driving that both of you have done here in this championship race over the past 4 weeks as this thing has really started to develop has been just simply outstanding. And we're going to talk with Todd here first. Todd's had the bullseye. I remember it was about 7 weeks ago you had told me down to the pits that this was the first time you had had the point lead in quite a while. I think in 1999, I think, was when you had told me. And did you expect to hold it this long?
There for quite a while, I didn't think we'd hang on to it. I thought it'd be a 1 or 2 week thing, and then it would come to an end. But thanks to the help of my pit crew, they've worked real hard. CNC Racing, they've helped me out with the car. It's been pretty good, and then we found something here 2 weeks ago, and now the car seems to be back under me, and they've said to keep my hands off it. That's probably the biggest thing.
Just go out and drive. And then, you know, that's one of the things I think is interesting about these late models. I talked to Matt Henderson quite a bit about this too, because they're always finding stuff. You guys are nonstop. You don't just park it for the week and then come back out here and race on a Saturday night. There's always work being done and always things to be found.
Yeah, it kind of gets a little bit nerve-wracking. They want to keep trying things, and it's like, the car's good. Let's just leave it alone and see what happens. But, you know, racing against Shawn has been fun. He's a clean driver, and we both respect each other quite a bit, so I don't have any issues there. It's going to be interesting right down to the end.
Well, Shawn Pfaff, you and I have had almost the same conversation the past 2 years. You were tired of 4th and 5th place finishes. You found a spark last year. You started getting some better finishes, but just not enough time to catch Jay. This year, you had said the same thing. You were tired of the 4th place finishes, and out of nowhere, that race program completely turned around.
Yeah, we kind of found a few things. We restubbed that car this winter, and I think we found what the car likes, and been leaving it alone and coming back. But like Todd said, every night you come out here, the car's just a little different. Now, tonight it was a little different than what it was last week, and in the dash, we weren't quite there the first 2 laps, but after about 4 laps, we kind of settled in and we were starting to come back. But it's too late in 6 laps, you know. And the way the features have went the last 4 or 5 weeks, I mean, we haven't had any yellows. And when we start, you know, back in the, I would bet to say the last 6 weeks, Todd and I have been in the 5th or 6th row almost every night. And with no yellows, it's just almost impossible with the caliber of racing that is out here for us to come up through and get there. But it's like we're both glued to each other. We can't get away. And tonight, Todd made the first breakaway, though. He got away there, and I thought we were going to stay nose to tail there again. And but I think, too, it's been fun racing with Todd. I've really enjoyed this run, and, you know, both of us want to win it, and it'll be a fair run to the end. And just looking forward to see what's going to happen every night.
Shawn Pfaff, Todd Korish joining me. And Todd, how does this adjust to your driving style? If we can get tonight's races in, we've got one more next week. Then you've got quite the lull before we crown a champion for Oktoberfest, almost a month that the car's going to be sitting in the shop. Do you do anything driver adjustment-wise in the next couple of weeks?
Oh, I started doing that a long time ago. It's you've got to be on the defense all the time. You can't push the issues. I ended up pushing one last week when I got into the back of Bill Niles a little bit, and it could have costed me a lot. So, you know, using the bumper is totally out of the game for me. I've got to just run clean and make sure I got nobody mad at me so that they retaliate on me. And, you know, like Shawn said, we've been glued to each other. It doesn't matter. It's either him ahead or me ahead. We never can break away from each other, and, you know, that's all right. You know, last week when Shawn got loose coming out of 2, I could have got gutsy there, but I wanted to let him save it and then go back racing, because it's not worth wrecking cars. Wasn't sure where he was going to slide to, and I just rather let him gather it and then go after it.
If you look at the beginning of the race season, I think it's kind of funny to watch the driving styles. Everybody is so aggressive at the beginning of the season. Midway, you start finding out where people are really, who's going to be running for the championship, who's going to be reassessing next year. At the midway point again, you started making some adjustments there. When you look at your driving style, of course, it's tough when you have to run side by side with Todd for 15, 20 laps, and you've got all these other stronger cars sitting in front of you, and like you said, you can't make a move. Do you make many driver adjustments over the next couple of weeks?
Not really. I mean, we've got both of us are up on the wheel all the time, and you can tell by qualifying we're always in the fast dash. We're running 1 and 2 in the dash points. Todd took that over tonight, I'm sure, after winning the dash. But we've got to finish every night. Like Todd said, with this new point structure the way it is, if either one of us get involved in something and we go to the back, you're not going to make that point back up on the guy. He can come back out the next week and just lollygag around, and he's going to stay in the point lead. So you've got to race hard, but you've also got to keep yourself clean and stay out of any trouble that's going to happen. And there's things that not always your choice or anything you've done when at the start of a feature, but everybody's been really good this year. I mean, getting through traffic, everybody's been respecting us too with our points lead, in our race and stuff. And I don't know, it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this one a lot more. I know Todd, the pressure, he doesn't like it. A little easier for me. I've been up here a few more times, but I'm enjoying the points race. It's been a lot of fun.
As Shawn was talking about that point structure, we made 2 big changes in the late model class the past years, or maybe 3 years. The double wide restarts, where I think the fans love that. I love announcing it like that. Some of the drivers like that pressure coming out of turn 4. Your feelings, Todd Korish, on the new point structure?
Well, Shawn and I kind of had a hand in that, so we got to live with it. We're the victims of our own idea, so it's better for the fans, I think, too. We don't see this singled out guys just getting away. We have to race to the front, and gives the other guys chances to get away and go win a feature that hasn't won one yet.
Last question, Shawn. Talk about this late model class. I think this is one of the only classes in the state of Wisconsin when you talk late models, where you talk consistency. We're always looking at 24, 25, 26 cars. Talk about this late model class in 2012.
Well, one thing with the late model classes, there's gotten to be a little bit too big a split between the guys that are a little bit farther down in the pack and where we are. It'd be nice to have a few more middle pack cars, but still, we got a good show going here compared to what's going on elsewhere in the state and car numbers that are elsewhere. And the competition-wise, when you see this many different feature winners every night, you ain't going to go to any other track and see that. You go to these other tracks, and you're going to see the same guy in a month probably win 2 or 3 of them features. And yeah, that has happened here, but we've had a lot more different winners this year, and you're still watching a point. You can be watching a guy go up and win his first feature, but you still got the first, the top three in points or top 2 in points racing each other in 4th and 5th, trying to get a spot that are racing for it.
Todd, your feelings on the late model class here in 2012?
This year, everybody's done really an exceptional job. I mean, we had the one big incident, but otherwise, you used to set up a car to make these short runs because we seemed like caution after caution, but we've always stuck with trying to make sure we had a car to run 25 laps, and my car doesn't seem to fall off at all. But everybody's done an exceptional job, and I'm trying to help as many of those mid-pack cars that Shawn's talking about to get them up in there and race with us.
All right, race fans, let's make these 2 drivers feel at home. Where are my Shawn Pfaff fans? Oh. One more time. Who roots for Shawn Pfaff? Who's out there rooting for Todd Korish?
Well, again, we'd like to thank Mike Kenneke, the Pizza King 19 late model driver, for coming into the program today. Always a treat to see Mike come back, and I put him up there with Brad Powell. When he shows back up the track, you get those high eyebrows and going, ooh, we've got some competition, because Mike knows that racetrack. Mike, thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching us on the program. OktoberfestRaceWeekend.com and LacrosseSpeedway.com if you want more information on the big 4 days of racing coming up. Eva Destruction's coming up as well, and this weekend, the Late Model Challenge. On behalf of Mike Kenneke and Al Losi, I'm Dan Dyker. We'll see you next week right here on 7 Rivers Racing.